Hey there everybody, thanks for joining me today. I am going to show you a quick and simple card using the new Life is Beautiful stamp set. This one is found on page 51 of our holiday catalog, and I love it. I always look for these, the ones that have this little $1 million sign, because that means that it was inspired by one of our $1 million sellers. Typically, someone who's gonna have sold $1 million worth of stamps, crafting supplies, has a little inkling of what's gonna be, popular and beautiful and useful. So that one was designed by Leanne Greff, and I'm grateful to have her as a friend and also to be able to use her beautiful stamp set. So if you joined me on my Facebook page, I've been doing lunch breaks with Rhonda, and today we showed this beautiful card using the Misty Moonlight. It kind of opens in a fun manner. So you have, it's a kind of like a little fun twist to just a regular boring card. So I'm gonna make something very similar and show you. When I'm all done, I'll put the directions in the description of the video, so that way you can have them. I'll say them out loud, but they'll also be in print for you too. So let's jump in. I'm gonna point you down, and then we're going to go ahead and jump in and get started. So I'm so glad that you're spending your time watching me today, but you're not gonna be too bouncy. All right, you need to start off with a half a sheet of cardstock. This one I'm starting off with Early Espresso, and it's 4 1/4 by 11. I am just going to take this and fold it in towards the middle. It does not, I just want these pieces to meet in the middle. It does not have to be perfectly centered. I know that might drive some of you crazy, that like things completely centered, but this one doesn't matter whatsoever. So I just fold it in towards the middle to where they meet, and then I just use my bone folder to get a good crease there. So what we're gonna do next is you have 2 pieces of Whisper White. One is, they're both 4 by 5 1/4. One of them is to go on the inside. Take your Stampin' Seal Plus, or Stampin' Seal, they both work with cards. I just always use the Plus because it just holds really, really good. I love our new Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus. So that's gonna go on the inside. So that way you can write your message, you could do some more stamping, you could do some decorating. One of my favorite color combinations is Early Espresso and Petal Pink. So I decided to make this variation with some of my favorite colors. So we're gonna use, this is the Prized Peony Suite, and there's grays, there is lots of petal pinks, and I'm just gonna use this really, this beautiful piece right here. And we're gonna cut this down to 3 3/4 by 3. So 3 3/4 by 3. That's all we need for designer series paper for this one. So I wanted to really use that, the petal pink, and the Prize Peony has that in it, and a beautiful gray color as well. So now let's go ahead and assemble what we got here, and then I'll show you, we're gonna do our stamping with our Life is Beautiful stamp set. It's only $17. So if you don't own it, you're going to want to get it. I'm holding a Life is Beautiful class right now. You can get it free with an online order, or I'm gonna have it as a part of my my holiday or my Halloween stamp camp. It's gonna be an add-on, but you're gonna make some really awesome cards. Life is Beautiful is very versatile and creates some just beautiful cards that anyone would sure to love. And so there's lots of variations that you can do, lots of seasons, lots of reasons. There's so much that you can do with it. So I'm gonna take out my Petal Pink ribbon, which we have in the big annual catalog, and then we're going to use the Life is Beautiful stamp set. We need the big tree here, pull that right off, the big tree. So you're gonna wanna make sure you're using one of your larger blocks. So I'm gonna put this on here. We're not gonna need the whole tree, just a part of it. So it is hanging off a little bit because I don't need the whole tree. We're also gonna be using the words that say, thinking of you. We always want to let people know when we're praying for them, thinking of them. So I can always use a thinking of you card. All right, so let's, first thing we're gonna do before we do anything else is we're going to tie a knot. This, You could tie a bow as well if you want to, but this ribbon is kind of bigger, so I like just to tie a knot over here on the side. But this is our petal pink organdy striped ribbon. We had it last year, it came out, and it was on back order for like forever because it was so popular. So I love that they kept it in the catalog, and now it ties really nice knots. Now you can get it, so if you didn't get it before, you can get it for sure now. All right, so there's our petal pink ribbon, and this is going to get glued down now to the top of our card. So it's just the top is all, here comes my air conditioning. It's warm here in Michigan right now. So this is, you wanna glue down just the top. So I put glue right here because I know I don't wanna put it on any part that's gonna hang over. So I just glued down just the top portion, and it'll be a fun way for this card to open. So whoever gets it is gonna be like, they're gonna love that. All right, so there's the skeleton of our card. Let's do our focal point. I took one of our Stitched So Sweetly dies. This is the largest one. I've used this all the time. I actually have 3 sets of them. And with the petal pink. And it creates the little ruffle going around and the stitching. And then I cut a piece of Whisper White that's 2.5 by 3 5/8. So it fits perfectly inside our little stitching and our ruffling. So we're gonna stamp with Early Espresso, the tree. And just go ahead and ink that up really quick. Get a good inking. I do want to put something behind here so that if it hangs over, it won't go on my table. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that a little bit off to the side, because on this one, we're going to put the birdhouse. All right, so we're going to stamp next there's a little birdhouse in there, and I'm going to stamp it with the petal pink. Make sure that's straight. So let's ink that up with the petal pink. You could actually even use your markers if you wanted to get a variation of color. So I'm gonna ink up the birdhouse and the pieces with the petal pink. And then on the little strand that hangs down, I'm gonna ink it up with the Early Espresso, just like that. Then that, I gotta cheat and look, is gonna get hung down from our tree. So it's got this really cute little birdhouse. See, isn't that so sweet? I love it. All right, that is going to now get glued down to, well, not yet. We didn't stamp our the background to it. So this is a plain tree. I do want to add some of these beautiful leaves to it. There's leaves, there's these bubbles, there is, I'm gonna do leaves. So we're gonna put petal pink leaves on our tree. All right, so let's just go ahead and ink that up. And that's just gonna go across here. It already has a nice little variation to it, so you don't necessarily have to, I am gonna stamp off one time just so it's not quite so dark, and then add some more leaves going this direction. There we go. So, so pretty. Can you see that, how good that looks? And now this is what I would call a monochromatic card, so I'm sticking to just a couple colors. Basically, the color is petal pink. I liked, of course, simplicity, so we don't want to go too crazy. Next, I'm going to stamp the Life is Beautiful with our Early Espresso stamp pad onto one of our Stitched So Sweetly dies. I ran it through already too with a Whisper White with our new Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. If you don't have it, you gotta get it. So Thinking of You is gonna go right on this label. It fits perfectly on there. And let's finish assembling. So the first thing I'm gonna do next is take our Stampin' Dimensionals, and we all know I love those, and we're going to put those on the back of this first and add it to our card. Let's go back to our card front. We're almost done. The one that people call it a gatefold, or I just think it's a fun way to open a card so that it creates some interest on it. So there we go. We're going to add that right to the front of our card. And then we're going to take our Thinking of You and add that in there next. So, all right, now it's your turn. Who's gonna make this card variation and share it with all of us? So then this will go next. I'm gonna put that Thinking of You right over there. Of course, you could add some pearls or rhinestones, but look how sweet this card is. Whoever you sent it to would be so touched that you were thinking of them and then letting them know, whoops, don't want that on there, that you're thinking of them. You could continue to stamp and decorate the inside if you want to. So here is a petal pink version and with the birdhouse, and here is a misty moonlight version. So you can obviously send this for any occasion, for a man or a woman or anybody, and let them know that you're thinking of them. So thanks for joining me. Remember to subscribe to my channel so you'll see all the times I'll be posting several times a week. And also make sure that you make these, be creative. Being creative is good for your soul. We all need that right now, and then send them to somebody. So I love that. There's nothing more I love than seeing you create one of the projects and then actually using it. All right, have a great day.